Boy, if there's one thing I've noticed over the years, it's how Democrats seem to hold together. They have a glue that sticks, and no matter what message they're trying to put across to Americans through all of the media, they stick together. So this is what I'm going to talk about, and it's mainly about Tucker Carlson. I've been kind of catching up with Tucker. I joined his TV program, app, or whatever, and paid for it, annual subscription. Listen, I'm an average guy, so some of the things I say may be very, very, very average to you, but I think some people like that take, and hopefully Tucker will hear this, and Dinesh D'Souza and Dave Rubin will also. I recently listened to a whole lot of Tucker talk about our place in the world and geopolitical ramifications, and he seems to be a very America First guy. And so this brings me to a clip that I saw, and if they corrected themselves somewhere at the end of this clip, and I didn't see it, my apologies to Dinesh and Dave Rubin, although I'm not attacking either one of you either. But they seem to be focused on Tucker being a very anti-Semitic, as if he's not for the Jews, that he almost like they spoke almost as if he had a hatred for the Jews. That is just perplexing to me. I've listened to him now for probably 3 months, and I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and he not once has ever come across with any type of anti-Semitic, you know, language. He definitely wants to know why we're in bed with Israel in the sense of how much money we send them every year, and the size of the country of Israel is does it pay off for us to be their ally to the depth it sounds like we're their ally. I don't think he's arguing that we don't need to have anything to do with Israel. That's foolish. And I think he would argue that you're foolish if you were to say that about him. But he is saying, should we be sending them billions and billions of dollars? Should we be sticking our necks out? Because there's an obvious domino effect with other countries throughout the Middle East, Russia, China, that maybe it doesn't serve America to be involved with Israel to the depth we are. I don't think he would argue that we don't need to have anything to do with them, although we need to make sure we have something to do with every country. We need to be involved. There's definitely a geopolitical atmosphere where we have to know what's going on around the globe. But to picture him as if he hates Jews seems to be a new low. And the clip I saw, which was probably 3 or 4 minutes, Dave and Dinesh were getting into him, and it really portrayed him as if he hates Jews, which really, anytime somebody goes after somebody, just say in this instance, Tucker Carlson, anytime somebody goes after those people and they're on our same side and they're so pro-Israel, which I think we all are. I think Tucker is. I think I am. Dinesh and Dave are. But for them to attack Tucker, it seems like they're just maybe so far down that rabbit hole that it's hard for them to look and see what Tucker's trying to get across is at what level do we need to be involved with Israel. So I just want to get this off my chest. I hope Tucker hears this. I hope Dinesh hears this. But Tucker, obviously you're not an anti-Semitic person. It's lunacy at its best to say that Tucker doesn't like Jews. You've said it repeatedly in all of your podcast that you're not against Jews. You're not against any people. You're just wanting to see what's in the best interest for America, and you want certain things explained as to why our policies and why our people are doing certain things all over the globe. You don't. By the way, you don't just focus, because I've heard you enough now. You're not just inquisitive about Israel. Israel's a hot topic. They're one of our biggest allies. It sounds like that if you keep up with politics the last 40 years. So we're obviously that's going to be a topic. So if Dave Rubin and Dinesh, they have to realize, how often does Dinesh and Dave Rubin talk about Israel? Just out of curiosity, probably a fair amount. So just because Tucker talks about Israel doesn't make him an anti-Semite. It actually makes him involved. By the way, Tucker also went to Russia and interviewed Putin. So he's not just worried about one country. So it's foolish to paint him, uh, to paint a picture of Tucker Carlson as an anti-Semite, as if he's anti-Semitic in some way. Um, just why can't our side just come together? Conservatives stick with each other. If you're going to say something about somebody, back it up. Not just saying, well, he's just an anti-Semitic person and he's always talking about the Jews and Israel and blah blah blah. Don't be mad and butthurt because you are so in bed with Israel that you can't hear an alternative side saying or questioning, hey, is this good for America? If you can't see through that, or if you have to be hateful in talking about somebody, it brings things to question for people like me. Again, very average. Actually, I'm probably a very below average guy, but it makes me think and wonder when people attack Tucker Carlson in this way.